Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Everyone is doing just fine. I decided to stream today as well because I got bored. I want to show off what else this game can do specifically. So that's what we'll be doing today. That is what we will be doing. We'll be showing off the next story mission, side quests that come after that, as well as this Twilight mission, which technically is about to change. Ooh, I got a good chunk of sleep last night. That was nice, I tell ya. That was really nice. Anyways, beyond that, we're gonna get started here, but first let me say to everyone out there, this is gonna be good. I personally like the next story mission coming up and the next little chapter. We'll do some grinding with Yasuke when we get there, but I've made a little bit of an overlay for my gaming scene now, so you all can see that now. Yeah, what do you think? It looks good, right? Oh, it looks so good. So fucking good. Look at that. Look at that. It's even got a little bit of an Easter egg in it. Yep. I am the greatest VTuber of all time. Right? Looks beautiful. This looks amazing. Oh man. So we got this here, but we got more than just that. We've actually got a little bit something extra. A little bit something extra because you see something fucking magical. There we go. Yes, finally it works. I got surround sound for myself in my headphones for the game. Oh yeah. So we're good now, basically. We are good, yeah. Okay, just making sure everything works. I got this nice ass overlay, I love it. I love it. It was made in MS Paint. The bottom is still cut off. Probably because... No, it's actually perfectly fine. Those words down there actually need to be hidden until the subscriber goal is reached, so... This is actually perfectly fine, damn. This is working perfectly. In fact, I'm actually surprised. Huh. Alright. I think we're doing good here. I think we're good, and I think we move on to the actual game. Alright. Welcome back, everyone, to Nioh, the super canonical series. Let's get into this Twilight mission. But first, let's spend our newest yokai point. I want to start collecting some of these. What is this? Fire damage. Let's use this poison, water effect, lightning. Recover 10%. Increase the amount of health you recover by percent while in the dark ground. That could be useful. And then here we are. Another Kasaragawa skill. We could use that. That seems pretty good. It's very good at pulling. It also leads to more skills itself. What are these? That doesn't seem too good. We already got yokai abilities for that. That's alright. That's a counter. So it doesn't lead to anything too good. We actually kind of want... What do we actually want? I gotta kind of plan out our path a little bit, you know? Do we want? If there were more of you in chat, I'd actually put a vote on it. I don't know what we want exactly. Maybe these? That's not useful to us. That's probably there. Yeah, replace Crimson Fury. Then we go to Crimson Fury too. So this is a longer combo replacement for Reaper that's a bit more consistent, as you can see. There is another one we want later on, but I don't think we can get it right now, which is this. We do want that. Is this it? Yeah, we do want this eventually. A Crimson Fury will be our replacement for the up stance, since it is a bit better, but we want that for Yokai that we paralyze, because that's a very good paralysis ability. As you can see, we're in a Twilight mission, if you remember. And this shit sucks. This Twilight mission is actually quite good. It's so weird to play the game and surround sound as I'm streaming, you know? So let's go over a couple things that we haven't gone over yet so far in the game that I do want to talk about for the sake of quality and consistency, because I do want to teach you guys about the game a good bit. Specifically, I want to talk about the styles and stances. So every weapon, with the exception of ranged weapons, for obvious reasons, it would be really cool if we could really be done a different way and have it do something different, but sadly enough, that is not a thing. Has 3 different stances. You have your low stance, which are usually very fast attacks, and long combos that do very little damage. You have your medium stance, which are medium attacks, medium combos with alright range and alright damage. Then you have your high stance, which is shorter combos, usually shorter combos. Sargal is kind of an exception, with very few heavy attacks, usually 1 or 2. Yeah, that is the one heavy attack the high stance has. Not a very diverse combo, unlike the very diversified combo of the low stance. These actually have differences other than attack pattern. Dodging, it's actually different. With the dodge from the low stance, we can actually do these dashes, and there is basically no time in between these animations, as you can see. I can just constantly just dash, no matter what. It's just a 2-parter dash. It gets us a lot of distance. I'm about to press this button twice. That is how much distance we just covered there. Just quick 1, 2. And we've covered so much distance. The medium stance is a mixture of both high and low. We can do a dash to the side with 1 button press, but our second button press will do a roll. That roll is actually a little bit more consistent than the second dash for the low stance on some things, specifically avoiding certain attacks, which we will get to later on. And then for the high stance, we only have 1, and it is just a roll. That's why I always say the high stance is so dangerous, because you have basically no good mobility to use here. It's just a single roll. And then with the, yeah, it's just a single roll. With the mid stance, you at least have a dash and then a roll. Something you also notice is our dodge in the high stance brings us down to 1157. Our dodge in the mid stance does the same thing. We can do it twice, so it could potentially take up more Kai. And then in the low stance, it actually brings us slightly higher. Instead of bringing us down to 1157, we are brought down to 1287 out of the 1352. So the low stance will also allow you to dash more often. You'll see me frequently swap into the low stance when I need mobility to get around a boss. That's a very good thing to do if you want to be consistent with your gameplay. So that's what I would suggest if you want to really start studying the ins and outs of the game, is learn your dashes. That's why being able to swap into the mid stance from a combo in the Odachi stances in low stance is so powerful, because that allows you to get damage on a boss when they are weakest, or damage on a yokai when you have the advantage faster, because you swap to a higher damage stance quicker instead of having to Kai pulse with it. Now there are exceptions. There are exceptions to this rule. If you don't have the advantage, you really don't want to push a yokai ever, unless you're trying to gain the advantage. But usually a yokai will give you some kind of opening in their attack pattern to exploit. A slam attack, the recovery off of a kick, something like that. The only yokai that really doesn't do that are giant yokai. They give you, like, big pauses in between their attacks, but that's usually it. We'll see later on in the game, after we complete the first game in the super canonical series, because I'm playing them in canonical order, what exactly I mean. There are some giant bosses later on in the very latter half of the game that get pretty big and pretty bad. Still gonna come back with the attacker. Remember how I was saying in the previous episode that having a combo extender, nice, having a combo extender on my high attack is really powerful? It's a risk, though. Because I'm in the high stance for longer and my Kai actually gets lower, because if I just finish this, I'm left at 789. If I do the full string with the combo extender, I'm left at 639. More than 100 Kai points more. It's a risk, but because I am so familiar with the game, as you can see, we also have life drain now. Because I am so familiar with this game as a whole, I'm actually able to take advantage pretty well of the rolling mechanics, because usually what I'll do is, as soon as I do that combo... Oops, I forgot about that. Yes, we shoot lasers, by the way. 1, 2, 3. As soon as I do that combo, I'm going to Kai Pulse, get into mid stance, and then immediately roll away. You've probably seen me do that countless times with the Kasaragawa. It actually has a lot more mobility than an Odachi. And when I specifically say mobility, you will notice the Odachi has the exact same dodge pattern. Well, I believe there's not a single weapon that has a different dodge pattern. But the Odachi's moves actually have longer reset times than the Kasaragawa. Because with the Odachi, if I do a heavy attack, I can't dodge for a while. That's like 10 frames. With the Kasaragawa, with a heavy attack, I can immediately get out of there. It's a little bit faster. It's minute, but in very fringe situations it can matter somewhat. Unless you really want to pick the game apart, you won't have to worry about that, but it is, some weapons are slightly more mobile than the other. That's why the sword is so powerful, because it's one of the more mobile weapons. You can constantly get out of its combos easily. I say that as I get hit and caught in the middle of a combo. Wow. He was playing... I actually got hit by that for once, damn. He was playing that so well. That has to be, like, purposeful. The enemy have to have some pathing to be able to avoid your mines. He was playing through that so well, he never crossed that once. Even though he did multiple forward momentum attacks. As you can see, the enemies also have their own abilities. Wow. I expected that to break my Kai. I was about to do a full release. If you see an enemy do something like that, it's usually good to swap into a more mobile stance if you're in Kai. You can also... So the thing about a lot of range units is it's kind of like Ghost of Tsushima, where range units are very loud. In this game they don't yell, unlike in Ghost of Tsushima, which I will probably be playing through at some point. But they're very loud. It was kind of hard to hear over the Oni in front of me, but these guys are actually very loud. You can hear their arm actually makes a really loud hissing noise, like it's a bomb ready to go off. So you can definitely tell when they're about to shoot through that, and you can memorize their time, because they do have a minimum amount of time they do need to charge it up. So you can memorize their time really well. And you can basically just kill units like that really quickly late game. As you can see, I swapped through multiple styles right there really quickly, multiple stances. and got a lot of my Kai back. Proper Kai Pulse is a really powerful skill in this game. Kai Pulse control. Cool. We go back to our bed. Oh, on my cat needs assistance. Hopefully he doesn't decide to destroy anything today, this kitty cat. He's rubbing up against my legs right now, which usually means he's ready to destroy something. He's very violent by his nature. Ah, I was wondering what that noise was. I forgot about this skeleton. So, yeah. If you want to go in properly, you can kind of go into this and understand and start understanding and go into the depths of it. Ah! I did not run into him last time. Let's try the Theododgy here. I did not run into this guy last time. I did not know he was here. Let's continue. Sorry. Something I would also suggest about basic... Why is everything just being destroyed today? This cat isn't doing anything rambunctious. Yet. Why is everything just breaking? Every piece of technology I have is just disagreeing with my usage of it. Okay. Alright. Lantern. Alright, let's continue. What were we doing? Oh yeah, killing that skeleton. Maybe we can get an angle on him from over here. Technically, yes, but we're in a third-person view, so... we kinda just gotta shoot him through the trees. Or maybe this archway. Will that allow us to see him? Yeah, we can see him here. Let's just use a sacred arrow to make sure we kill him in one shot. There we go. Alright. Moving on, let's kill this Tengu, get across the bridge. Keep in mind, this is still the first area of the first mission. Yes, there is a monkey down there. Not a second time, Tengu. One, two, three, swap it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, nope, not just barely right out because he opened up the portal at that moment and stopped my regen. Oh, yeah, you gotta learn your timings, by the way. Gotta learn your timings properly for this game. As you can see, I can kind of just phase through that, but when you start playing, it's going to be difficult. This game has a very intense learning curve. A very unkind learning curve at that. Might as well start using our new move, you know? That's right. Yeah, that actually works. Crimson Fury 2 could be really good. If it went on for a little bit longer, it'd be pretty powerful, but unlike Reaper, it moves forwards with you. So, that's pretty desirable. It's a pretty desirable thing. Because normally, without Reaper, you couldn't move forwards. You gotta hold it. You just... That's Reaper. That's it. That's all it does. With this, you have momentum forwards, which is very, very powerful and matters a lot. We're gonna go back and kill that Anki real quick. Now we have a story mission to do. I think we just kind of drop down here, kill the Bozo, which is inevitably on the ceiling. I can literally see it right there. Hello? Okay. I forgot that it actually hits you. If you're close enough. Yeah, their getting up animation will hit you. They're one of the only enemies who doesn't. Oh, it's a melee element. Of course it is. We're in the fucking I think they would be. And high stance. That could have been bad. Oh shit. Let's use the thing here. God damn. See, they're trapped. The AI has to do this on purpose. I will not believe anyone who says the AI does not do something like this on purpose. And purposely gather themselves. Fuck, there's gonna be Bozo back there as well. And purposely clump themselves up like that. They have to do that on purpose, man. They do it so consistently. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're still good. Don't do that at home. That is a very risky maneuver. Trying to dodge that outright with a slow dodge like that is something only like veteran players should try and do. It's a really risky move. Did we kill that Bozo? No. Are we technically behind it? No. There is no technically behind us. I had thought I was playing the first game there, sorry. In the first game, you can actually, you can final blow them while they're in that stance when they do their headbutt attack. You can final blow them. But, I thought I was playing the first game. But you can't do that in this one. Oh well. Moving on. Where are we? There's no item there for some reason. We're at the second shrine now. We just want to get through this 12-day mission, you know. We just want to get through this. So, we should be fine. We got a yokai fragment. Oh, yokai soul core, which is nice. We'll go through the standard route. There's nothing really in these missions. It's just stuff if you want extra stuff. There we go. To good health. They will also throw that spear, as you can see. There is a variant of these enemies in the DLC that are way more dangerous, which we will get to after we complete the first game. We're going on a very long journey, folks. I thank all of you who are watching. Fuck, where the fuck? That was a torch. No, that was an arrow. The triple. There we go. Regen. Let's go. Alright, we're good. We can kind of do our thing here. Take a little bit of damage purposefully. Get back. Heal. I believe he can't extend that any further. Also, for some reason, his horns just refuse to break. He kept his fucking tusks throughout that entire thing, and I hit them multiple times. Okay, there's a skeleton archer up here, which we can just go over and get rid of. I don't know what we get for doing this Twilight mission. I don't know. I feel like it might be something somewhat good. Okay, whatever. We can swap to our high stance here. There's someone to the left of us. Nah. It's gonna be a Hickey. It's one of these guys on a banister. On a banister, what is that part of the castle called again? I forget. Axe. There isn't too much difference between me wielding an axe and a sword, except for this guy has a couple more moves the sword doesn't. Okay, it does slightly more damage. Oh, we can pierce him right there, though, and he's good. He's down. Yeah, to kind of block that, she rushed me. Damn you and your backwards momentum. Smart. There we go. If you final blow them while they're on the ground like that, yeah, they'll they won't do their grab attack as they get up. They'll just have to get up normally. That's what I thought was gonna happen. I almost remembered her. My body told me there's something weird about this doorway, but I didn't do anything about it. Okay, these things. You fight them so often in this game. It feels like this is the enemy I'm fighting the most. Maybe it's just because the area I'm in, but I feel like I have fought her countless times. Let's just... God damn, I hate them. I hate them so much. You saw me die in pain and misery. This will be your turn. Yeah, you drown. Congratulations. Horrible way to go. It just does make you have to murder people for it. Jeez, the dead are always griefing. That's the point. Oh, he didn't actually. No, he did. Okay. Their pools are slightly larger. It's actually considerably larger. Oh yeah, they have backwards momentum on their second attack part of that jump. Oh yeah! Now block that, get it back into the rhythm here. Yeah, he does have a third swing for occasionally do, which just caught me off guard. As you can see, I actually have HP regeneration. That's because of the... Hold on. Where the hell is it? The Soul Core I have, I believe. Can't actually check it while I'm in here. I believe it's one of the Soul Cores that I have. Or it is the Guardian Spirit that I have. I know it's not any of my weapons. Shit. Okay, who wants to bet? Nothing. Shinobi style. Quick and quiet. Kill. Well, this ain't good. Come on. Okay. Let's get into this. Can we? Oh, he's too low. We can't avoid his attacks like that. Alright, I didn't think that would kill him. I was worried. If he would have survived that, he would have hit me with a pretty big combo. Because I left myself wide open at the end of that, assuming he would die. Let's go pick up this loot from this guy we killed a while ago, and I think we're done with this section, so we can move on to the next one. Ah, shit, there's a dark one. And there's a dude. It's just one of these guys. There we go. If they, by the way, as you just saw there, if they stumble out of a dark realm as they're doing it, they won't actually drop their little thing. They won't drop their spit. They have to be in the dark realm as their animation finishes. You lucky bitch. Just still throw power dark around. Alright. I was hoping they would finish her off. There we go. We're good. Let's move. No. Okay. Don't remember if I put the thing down yet or not. No, not yet. It's up here, though. I have a feeling when more than one enemy is looking at me. Ah! It's introduction to these guys. So enemies can use hand cannons as well. Something to note about hand cannons when it comes to enemies using them is their attacks, that hand cannon shot, if it would have hit me, would have knocked me down. As if I got hit while I was winded. Their attacks always... Shit, there's a red cap down there. I really want to kill that thing. Their attacks always, regardless, knock you down. Unless you are blocking. I've tried a lot of different things to stop them from knocking you down. From having heavy armor to everything. I'm pretty sure their attacks always knock you down. Is there a Nureona? No, am I safe? Might be safe. No, of course the fucking fucking slime bastard. I bet you smell like mud. What is she doing? Is she asleep? I think she might be asleep. I think she's asleep. Let's not bother. With Arcazarco. No, she's actually just asleep. I can hear her breathing very lightly. Let's not bother. She's still a lady. She still deserves a little bit of respect. Jesus. Let's just go. Okay. Oh, I hate you so fucking much. Alright, let's continue. This is a troll, isn't it? No, it's worse. Ah, oh, fuck. Ah, I'm alive. Well, I'll be seeing you later, gents. I'm out of here. See ya. Let me just open this up. Good thing they can't climb ladders. No! I'm gonna get... Okay, we're good. I can't kill you. I just noticed it. I'm also about to be murdered by this guy. And I couldn't do shit about it. Thank you so much for dropping all that shit I won't get to pick up, because you can't cancel the taunt animation. What is this, Team Fortress 2? You can't cancel a taunt animation, sadly. Was out of elixirs. I overextended pretty hard, though. It's kind of my fault. I think she did her secondary attack there. I'd probably be fucking dead. Please don't wake up that woman. 2, 3, 4, 5. You're dead. Okay. Let's just grab this item real quick so I'm not tempted by it anymore. He fell directly under the bridge. Okay, it's a shinobi box, that's quite useful. Let's just get away from her. Okay. Oh, yes. Sorry, I forgot. Here, catch this. Let me heal. As you can see, we are normally doing 200 damage to those guys. With a fire anything, we're doing about more than double. I fucking hate you so much. Please die. Your death will make my life significantly better. Did that really just wear off as he was about to get paralyzed? Come on, why do you have so much health? Okay. Because I have a level on my corpse. Sorry about the loud noises. Oh my god, my heart. I have a level on me. I have a level on my corpse. If I die right now, it's gone. Oh my god. He had so many hit points. I think I paralyzed him twice, and I did 2 full heavy combos on him. He was still alive. And our fucking, our up-guard heavy attack. And I still couldn't kill him. I still need to do another combo on him. Oh. I didn't know that. If a Tanuki dies and you don't pick up their stuff, they just leave behind a chest, probably with all their stuff in it. That's a nice little game. It did a really nice touch, actually, and the developers didn't have to do that, but they did. Alright. Maybe Kasara got our proficiency, so we want to get Crimson too. So now we can do this. That actually kind of had a little long recovery time to it, but it should be alright. It's a little bit more damage. Yep, we're about to get jumped. Because the game so often uses booby traps for a bait with a body, an item on a body, it no longer is functional because you're always assuming there's going to be a booby trap. Unless it's something like this. So why not start putting the... Oh my god, it's a smorgasbord. Keep in mind, there's also a second Dark Realm in this. Ooh, damn, right behind him. Good damage. Throw stuff. No? No, that did not hit him. No! I knew the doorway was gonna block me. I knew the doorway was gonna stop me. Still wanted to try and dash out of it just in case over there. Hey, what do you know? He's dead. A lot of good damage. Right, yokai pot. No, we're fine. Let's try this. That actually does good damage enough. Whoa, I saw it. Yeah, I saw him as he was about to fire. That banister is blocking him out. I'm gonna stop moving for a second so I wouldn't get hit. I need to pour off every limb on his body but his legs. Oop. Oop. I know the timing pretty well. There we go. Do we want to go down here? What? Oh. Yeah, we might as well, because there's only an Oni and a Genki down there. It seems like a safe enough place to go. How's everybody doing out there? If you're in chat right now, do tell how you're doing. Do tell how you're doing. I'm always interested in how you guys' days have been. I don't really get to see too many people out where I live. It's a very boring day. Usually. Well, today the family did set up a new washing machine, so that was good. We were supposed to go Christmas shopping, but we didn't really have time for that. He thought I was gonna throw him in the monkey? No. Oh, this is probably bad. If that would have hit me, I would have been a dead man. Yeah, who's gonna enter first? Oh, bad angle. Let's move out quickly. That Genki's on us. Good thing his attacks don't phase through solid objects. Regen. Hit him. My tush is numb. Guess I've been sitting on this chair for a while, getting ready for stream. Oh boy. Ooh. Does this actually work now? Hold on. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Sorry, I changed my stream settings to be able to stream at a high quality, so you guys would see the game a lot better. Looks good. Plus, my internet can totally keep up with it as well. Using my Ethernet cord. So we're doing good here. We're looking pretty good. See how much we're improving. One day, you know, you're gonna see my name up in lights. You'll be like, yeah, I remember when I first subscribed to that dude back when he was pretty small. You know what I was thinking about? Actually, I won't say that yet. It'd be... I have a dream. And it's not that my children, whatever he said, that dude who copied Gandhi a lot and made a really big impact on if America decided if racism was okay. And they decided it's not. What is it? How does that video go? It goes, meanwhile, America is deciding if racism is okay. They decided no. Ah, the first attack didn't hit him, so it didn't break his stamina. Yeah, I knew I was gonna die to that. Yep. They've decided no. Martin Luther King. Yes, Martin Luther King. That guy. His speech has really been heard across the world. Man. I want to be as influential and charismatic as that guy one day, you know? He seems like a good guy. Once again, not getting any more shinobi capacity. I think 30 is actually just the max. Which is... unfortunate. But technically we can get more. We can technically get more through this. Hold on. Yeah, we can get more. But... that's it. That's probably it. Yeah, a lot of Martin Luther King's stuff. A lot of Martin Luther King Jr. stuff actually came from Gandhi. Gandhi, there's a lot of stuff from Gandhi, surprisingly. That makes sense though. Gandhi had a very big influence and was a very, very important character in history. Yeah, a lot of really cool guys doing a lot of really cool stuff back then. Let me... oh shit. Both of those guys have line of sight on me here. I might have to shift. Yeah, I gotta shift. I'm not clean out of it. Good thing I paralyzed him though. Alright. We gotta start using everything for our advantage now. Because we're kind of getting a little bit cornered. Oh. That's how you do that shit. That is how you do it. That is how you use a shinobi tool effectively. You want to make that shit work with everything in your power. That is how you use a shinobi tool effectively. I'm fucking clipping that. When I learn how to edit with the fucking studio I got right now, DaVinci Resolve, I am so going to clip that shit as a good example of how to use shinobi tools effectively. Really? Could we go for a ranged attack right now? He's about to fire. Oh, I rarely see this attack. Feels like the AI is so fucking smart, man. I thought we were in the dark one. I expected a bolt of paralysis to come out of him. He tracks me. It's really nice. Oh man, but yeah. That is how you use a shinobi tool effectively. Really effectively. Being able to use a shinobi... Ooh, I'm here now. Since I'm here, might as well, you know, push some buttons. Who else was a really influential character in history? Who's that girl? That really important girl? What's her name? What was her name? She was Teddy Roosevelt's daughter. Alice, I believe her name was. Alice was really cool. Alice was like fucking crazy. Teddy Roosevelt was her father. And Teddy Roosevelt himself was fucking crazy. Alice was so cool. She did so much stuff for the time that at the time, you know, just people like her really didn't do, or women really didn't do in general. Also, she was a massive cheater. She not like sports or anything. No, she literally cheated on her. She got married once. I believe there's a small story about this. She got married once, and both her and her husband immediately cheated with them on someone else. With someone else. Like, it was just immediate adultery. Immediately. And they didn't give a fuck. They probably both knew about it. I believe they did know about it. Both know about it, and they just didn't give a fuck. At one point, Teddy Roosevelt said I could either be president or I can control Alice. I can't do both. There was a reason though. Yeah, Alice did not have a good upbringing, you see. Her mother died when she was very young, and her father decided to take that in a very bad way. See, she was named after her mother. Her mother's name was Alice as well. Well, not her full name, but Alice, right? Well, Teddy Roosevelt never said his wife's name after she died. As in... We used our eye for it really fucking well there. As in, he never said his own daughter's name after his wife died. Which is, you know, a little bit kind of really fucked up. Really fucked up. Really fucked up thing to do. So, she didn't have the best upbringing. I guess she decided to just say, fuck it to the world. She was a super influential figure. Too bad what happened. Life has a really weird way of, you know, causing weird little coincidences like that, and little tiny bits of misery, blips of sadness in this eon and eons of life, to mean so little yet so much at the same time. If her mother never would have died, Alice may never have been Alice. Imagine. Alice may never have been Alice. She would have just been some girl we didn't know about in history. Not some person we talk about to this day because how awesome she was. And how horrible she was for her behavior at the time. Nowadays what she does is just normal, right? I mean, plenty of people do it. It's no secret. But at the time it was so different. Shit, this could be really bad. I'm just marveling at the history of everything. Because, I mean, this might be hard to believe, guys, but... this is bad. Then the guy behind me noticed me. Okay, well, we're leaving. See ya. We can't exactly affect him with paralysis, so we kind of gotta use the Odachi to just zone him. Could probably... There we go. That's the best I could come up with. Oh, sorry, the dog was being obnoxious. You know how she is. She loves destroying stuff and making noise. She's got Alzheimer's. Not Alzheimer's, sundowners. So she constantly makes noise at night. She never shuts up. Yeah, my model's working. Okay. Yeah, okay. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Hard to believe this, guys, I know, especially with my younger demeanor. But I was actually alive for that. I mean, I was pretty young. I was less than 100 years old. But I was alive for that. It was a crazy time. Crazy, crazy time. How much history has changed. People always complain, you know. Complain about the smallest of stuff. How things are changing and they don't get why they have to be punished for something they, you know, was okay before, but isn't now. People constantly complain about how their privilege to be an asshole is being taken away from them. It happens every generation. Even this current generation is somehow an asshole to someone we don't know of yet in the future. And then older things kind of fade back in, and certain stuff which was not accepted before is accepted now. A good example is, well, cheating. We made an example of that before. Hold on. Cheating! Yes. Either out of or in wedlock. It's, I mean, before, let's go over and use a time period like this, like what the game is set in. In this time period, you just kind of did it. It was socially accepted to just cheat on your partner. All you wanted, your wife, your husband, whatever you wanted to call them, you just cheated on them, all you wanted. Because they were probably doing it too. Especially back in the Heian period, that was just kind of normal. Everyone just cheated on each other. Sure, it wasn't socially accepted, except for somewhat in the Heian period, because they were just kind of used to it by then. But people just did it. And it was just something people did, and you had to get used to it. There's this asshole. Okay. Wish I could arc my shot. I'm trying to get on top of this. Red Kappa. They throw paralysis balls, as you can see. They also have the most devastating and carnal grab attack in the entire game. They also have that attack, which is very broken and should be removed from the game, and I will never, ever change my opinion on that. Let's talk about that attack real quick. That is a spin attack they can do, which lasts for about a second and a half or so. It is very broken, very overpowered. It does a lot of Kai damage. While the damage itself is somewhat lacking, the Kai damage itself is the dangerous part. I don't think it should exist. Now, there are certain attacks and enemies in the game which I feel, if removed from the game, would always make it better, no matter what situation it's in. We'll get to those later, because early game doesn't have too many of those. The early game is made very, very well. But a lot of things... I mean, okay, here's a good example, right? Before we get back to our conversation about adultery and the history of the world's expectations and ideals on it, which we will actually get into Arthurian mythos eventually on that as well, on that conversation. You maybe wonder how that comes out of it, but we'll get to the French later and how the French have done everything. I always believe... Oh, Demon's Axe. That's actually a really rare blacksmith sport. I always believe that if you take something out of a game, there is a good chance it is going to make the game better overall. Most of the time, less is going to be more, and more will usually be less. But because of the process of actually making a video game works, a lot of developers... That actually reflects it. Huh, didn't notice that before. A lot of developers will say that we need something else, or something needs to be put in. Because the thing is, making a game is a very difficult battle, especially if you're not an indie developer. But we gotta take our opportunities where we see it. Especially if you're not an... There we go, I'll take it. So, especially if you're not an indie developer and you're a AAA developer, you constantly want to put things... I knew there would be one of you fucks down here. You will constantly need to put things into the game, and not only that, you'll constantly need to take ideas you've had for the game out of it. Through various reasons. Budget's usually a big one, but also if the producers of the game don't like the idea, or some people think it's offensive, which is usually the case. Or the most usual case is... it doesn't fit into the game, or somehow doesn't work with the game, or it's not, you can't program it, something's not right. A good example to this is Oblivion, I believe the game is. Oblivion, I believe. Well, gotta take your opportunities where you can find them, right? Oblivion. Damn, he actually has a... Eh? That went clean off to the side. I'll take that. I hate this attack so much, it should be removed. If you stand still, you won't get hurt, but why the fuck is there an attack that discourages you from dodging in a dodging-based fencing game? That can also work to your advantage if you use something like that that gets you off the ground. Don't make an attack that encourages me to stand still. Either way, moving on. A good example to this is... A good example to that idea I just posed, where it doesn't fit with the game, is Oblivion. Or sorry, not Oblivion, it's Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas, the strip was originally created to be one entire, like, just gigantic road. There were no walls before. There were no walls and gateways in between it originally in development. But because the hardware couldn't handle it, they had to make those walls, you see. And those walls went up and the strip turned into something very different. And now the game is different, and it looks different because of it. And that's kind of a lot of the time that happens with video game development, or the publisher. The publisher themselves doesn't like something. Those are two big ones, but also people can very easily overblow a lot of problems in gaming nowadays. And developers themselves have a bad habit of being very... have a very bad habit of being... abandon-orientated to their games, basically. A lot of developers nowadays just abandon their game. Can I not? Does that poison me? Yeah, why not? It cannot be... It's been defiled and cannot be used. I see. Well, that's unfortunate. A lot of developers abandon their games. I've always said that if they would have the remake for Modern Warfare 19, if they would have actually put time and effort into, you know, updating that game frequently, then just fucking maybe we wouldn't have all these horrible, awful Call of Duty clones repeatedly for all of eternity. The developers usually abandon their games really, really early nowadays. Huh, that actually does do a single hit to you. Did not know that. Okay, I'm starving. Do something quick. That's why they eat all the time. Reminds me of a Wendigo. Now we have a much bigger issue. It's so hard to get control of your stamina. Except when anything like that happens, and you're given a good opportunity to... Sorry, book stance. He just threw it off to the side like an idiot. Okay, moving on. Where is this yokai? There he is. Of course, the damn Tengu. I hate these damn. Two. We got our sneak attack benefit, as you can see there. We also have a new shinobi point, which is fucking perfect, as we need that. What are you going to do? Really? What are you going to do? I'll paralyze you stiff. Paralysis style. knew I'd probably get back long enough to do a heavy attack. Okay. What was I saying before? Oh yes, the gaming industry as a whole. Developers usually abandon their games nowadays, which is sad because if you don't abandon your games and you actually update them, you get shit like TF2, which is one of the best games in existence. Fuck. 35 is max. Yeah. Like TF2, which is one of the best games in existence, and you should absolutely keep updating your games because who knows, I might actually grow a fan base for once. Developers don't do that. Valve hasn't updated TF2 in a long time, except for a single summer update. Unfortunately, seems like we're in the bad time. I think we should get a that works. But there is hope. Indie game developers are always a good source of anything proper. Is there an yomi bullseye right there? That area of the ground is glowing for no reason. A red kappa. I have to know what's down there. Nothing. It's just glowing for some reason. Yay, what a fun attack, guys. They like sumo wrestling, huh? It's so much fun, guys, just waiting around, waiting for the attack to stop. There's no engagement, it's just death. There. So, what was I saying? Alright. If a developer would actually do this, but they don't. That's why indie game developers are so popular. Because they actually kind of have to dedicate themselves to their games. Which is good. Which is very good. But people, especially on Twitter nowadays, and yeah, that's right, I'm calling everyone out on Twitter. That's right. That's right, they call you the sensitivity mob for a reason. That's right. Everyone on Twitter nowadays seems to be a bit dedicated to just ruining everything. It's actually quite funny, sometimes, of how just sensitive people can be. I've seen people complain over an age gap of 2 years between characters they were shipping. Like, it is really funny. It is really funny. Engagement. Oh yeah, don't do that. Let's fix that. It is really funny, and I do enjoy watching Twitter drama quite a bit. The thing is, it doesn't fuck at the end of the day. Like, who gives a shit? All of these people are absolutely critically and terminally online, and it is quite funny. Because I could absolutely be one of those people in a different universe. My only interaction with other people that are not either close neighbors or family is through the online world. It's quite funny. Ah, man. Anyways, let's continue talking about what we were talking about before, adultery. So, back in the days of the Sengoku period, it was kind of common to perform adultery. You know, everyone did it because everyone was probably bored, because people have been bored throughout history. And it was just kind of an exception that you did. Sure, you weren't supposed to do it, but that never stopped anybody. I mean, really, when was the last time you heard someone say, oh, I wasn't supposed to do this, so I didn't do it? Never. No one does that. He covered for himself there. It's so powerful. It is truly enjoyable just how hellish Twitter has become. People complaining about literally everything. Sorry. As I was fighting this boss, I was kind of remembering some shit I seen on Twitter recently. Because I do have to kind of concentrate a little bit during this. He's very easy to keep under wraps thanks to his less than stellar Kai. Since he does not have much of endurance. Oh, we both fall into our rage states. Too bad mine's be stronger than yours, fellow. I'll use you against you. There we go. Yeah, you just kind of did it back then, and then for like 500 or so years, maybe a little bit less, about 200 or so years, it wasn't accepted socially, and still isn't technically accepted socially, but you just kind of do it nowadays. If you're in a relationship, you kind of just have to expect it. It's probably gonna happen in most cases. Most relationships usually break up over money or adultery if you're married, so it just kind of happens. And it's becoming more of an accepted thing as time goes on nowadays. And then new things are coming out, and new different things are coming out. And new different ideas are being created. And people complain about those, and it's the whole thing. There we go, both of them done, and we have a level. And it's a whole thing, and that's how the world goes, and that's how it's been for eons. People complaining about what's new. New things being accepted, old things being rejected. When most of the time those old things are just new things. Given new... Sorry, those new things are just old things given new light or life. This thing is a weasel. A windsickle is its name in Japanese. I believe this is a weasel, or is this a cat? And our rifle through Japan. Victims. Is this a cat or is this a weasel? I believe it looks like a weasel. It does not look like a cat even slightly. How odd they are. Those are the guardian spirits. We've also got another yokai. No, no, no. Here we are. Red kappa. Red kappa are a special kind of kappa found in the land of Tono in northern Missouri province, although their heads and turtle shell on their back. Regular kappa, their skin is actually reddish in color. Additionally, they do not feel flee at the sight of humans and have been known to attack children and women who wander near rivers. Yeesh! And have been known. They dwell. However, it is said that some of them abandon their evil ways after being captured. There is a local kappa found. Okay, didn't know that. What's the difference between them? I have no clue. It's an important character. I think a lot of these guys are actually historical figures. This guy, I don't think he is, though. Bet who served? Who powerful? He might be. He's protagonist. Use his power to soothe the breed. Yeah, sure. Soothe, you mean hypnotize and enslave. Okay, moving on. Yeah, that's how, like, relationships and the idea of, like, cheating and adultery have kind of moved on through time, and how much has, changed as time went on. And it is truly crazy to think that, in another 500 or so years that, you just kind of cheat on your partners. That's just what you do. That might be the new thing everyone does. Ah, we've unlocked the Kappa now, I see. I think you get this from unlocking both types of Kappa. As you can see, they are hypnotized. These little guys are not, though. But we will continue with the snake. Yes, continue with the snake. As a good nod to our father. It's only 9:44. We still got plenty of time. Ooh. What were we talking about before? Let's see. We went over the sensitivity mob. Adultery. It's pretty heavy topics, you know. Let's go over food. This food seems to be something that doesn't seem to change very often. At least not regularly. Hold on, let me move this up. There we go. Much better. Food. So food. Let's go over a small story that I know first. I learned this one from a small podcast, which is very nice. That's kind of what we're doing now. Hold on. Oh, he looks like he's fed up with this shit already. So fucking weird. Prophecy. Wish to offer my assistance. He's a weird one.
いいでしょう。我が死も懐いたようですし、この美滅びようと最後までお使いいたします。まずは稲葉山攻めで私をお試しください。
I see. That's why we're here. You know, we can get back on the whole adultery idea, you know, real quick, because there is something I actually want to talk about, specifically with a well-known legend and a well-known series of myths. Specifically that being, this is the shortcut to the castle. I'll be your guide. Leave the Lord Unbe and the Lord Nobunaga to approach from the front, yes. So, first let's talk to him. Mui. I'll leave this to you. Here. This should. I believe he gives us a large spare stone. No, a small spare stone. Yes, sure. Now with your... Stop. Sure. Oh, that's actually a thing. You win. No. Yeah, he can give us, yeah, a large spare stone. I knew that was going to happen. He feeds us like a pet dog. That's basically what we are to him right now. But I do want to talk about the effects of cultural change and the effects of how adultery is treated within the eyes of society by giving you an example. So, the French. I love France. France is a great place, kind of. I've never been there myself, but a lot of Japanese people seem to think it's a good place. I would have to disagree, because it's France, and it's a different place. Seems like a different kind of culture. But we all love France. It's a good place to fantasize about. I mean, who doesn't love Sayuri? Sayuri's a very popular French VTuber. She seems to know quite a bit about the place, I would assume. I don't know anything about, you know, the culture of the country I live in, and barely. I know a lot about its history, though. But, you know, France. Let's take a look at Arthurian mythos, to give you an example. So, around the time the legend of the tales and legends and stories of Sir Lancelot were going around and the original collection of books were written about it, there was a split in perspective, right? A lot of people around the European area believed that Lancelot should be written as a villain because he was committing adultery in some of the stories he was part of. In fact, he did this, I believe, twice with 2 different people. It was believed to be a bit of a villain thing, and he should be treated as a villain in the stories and written as a villain. However, because of the cultural difference and the time difference when that story was usually written and when it was being read in mass, because it took a while to travel back then, the French actually had a different perspective on it, where he was less of a villain and more of a lancer, a competitor to Arthur. And this whole kind of weird love triangle, I believe I'm remembering history correct. Because the French, based on how their culture had evolved, did not see adultery as a purely bad thing, they just saw it as something that would happen. The French are smart like that, especially their military. Well, not in the ways of love, but the military is very smart. They have one of the best weapons of all time, that being the FAMAS. There is no competition. But that's kind of how their culture evolved, and because of that, Sir Lancelot was seen as more of a romantic within the mythos for a while as well. Not just an antagonist for a short amount of time. And so, what ended up happening was there was a big split in what people believed in. And people around France and the Bohemian area, because they're all kind of connected in that area, a little bit, somewhat in Bohemia, believed in one thing, these people believed another, and the character kind of split. What we know now, there's so many dwellers in this mine. Well, of course there is. There are so many. And it kind of split into what we believe in now. This is a new enemy type. Let me get to explaining them. Get off topic for just a second. These guys are living lanterns. See that lantern I'm standing next to? And just got grabbed next to and slammed on the ground next to. And murdered next to. Those guys are living lantern. They have a fireball attack, a couple thrust attacks. They have an attack where they breathe fire on the ground in front of them. There's a boss similar. We'll get to in a bit. This boss that does similar stuff. We'll get to in a bit. That kind of stuff. They all have very similar attack abilities. They also have, as you saw there, it's like a big attack, which creates a yokai realm portal wherever it lands, like a big ball of yokai mist. There's that as well. So, back to what I was saying before. When we actually get to them, I'll explain more about them. They're primarily a fire-type enemy, and they're weak to saturation. I don't know if saturation does anything extra to them, but I know they get hit hard by water-type stuff. And simultaneously, they also get hard. Not get hard, they get hit really hard by lightning-type stuff if they're saturated. I believe they might have more resistance. And they're a yokai, so they're pretty much all but immune to corruption. Moving on. So, you can tell it's one of them by the lantern being lit, usually in a very odd way. See that ball where it lands? Yokai realm portal. They have this fireball attack, so it flows towards you. It doesn't do much damage, but as you see, it just kind of destroys your stamina. He is pretty easy to stagger and stun. He's similar to the Reaper giant armed yokai. The ones that look very human-like. He can be stunned by pretty much everything. He's a very floaty enemy as well. He's very hard to get rid of, though. So, there's a very powerful version of those in the DLC, which we will get to in a minute, which is one of the enemies I think should probably be reworked. But whatever, the game is getting updated. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, good job. What are you gonna do? Really? Make me fall? I'll just salt the hell out of you. Like a snail. There. They all die in the end of the day. We all float down here, Georgie. Do you have... No, this isn't a long neck. We'll get to those enemies later. There's a long neck enemy which disguise themselves as humans. Ooh. God, it's so brutal. Now then, moving on. What I was saying before. This caused a divide in the character, and because the cultural ideas on cheating and adultery were different, many people saw Lancelot differently, in different lights. So, in the end, it took on a different life of its own, and this cultural separation allowed a new character entirely to be born. Whether that's a loyal friend turned rival, or someone who needs to be punished for their misdeeds and actions against the sanctity of marriage. I mean, I believe the man in the top hat, the mysterious stranger in Red Dead Redemption, says it best. Isn't it strange that a killer like you respects the bonds of marriage? It's a perspective-based thing. We all agreed it was okay, then suddenly it would be okay. Times are changing to a point where it might be okay one day. I don't really know. I don't really care. I've already pretty much married myself because of how good-looking I am. I mean, come on, look at me. But, in all honesty, that's what people complain about a lot. And going back to the original conversation, that right there is what people complain about and worry about so much. Things they don't like coming into popular belief. Having these ideas in their life. People don't like that for some reason. Me, I personally don't care. I couldn't care. And that's the nature of time. That's how everything goes on, and it will continue to go on like this forever. After all, this generation didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. And you know what? It's always gonna burn so long as the world will turn. Stupid thing. How marvelous. Indeed. See fit to construct one for us. He's old. He's an old goat. But sorry, I just reminded me of a joke. This is the... We have to go back down this level to get to our objective, by the way. We're just seeing a preview of it. Send it back down. Even in prison, your trainers here. Wow. That's good stuff. And that's the way of things. If we want to get even deeper than this, we can see how morality has formed since different forms of civilization have existed and how it has changed. People say that humans have an instinct to protect children and such. That's probably not true at all. Not even slightly. As you can see, we're actually healing more. We're healing 16 now, not 18, because my health has gone up slightly, so we actually heal more. Ah, I was wondering where the trap was. Quite the deadly trap at that. traps I like, but whatever. Anyways, moving on. A lot of people believe that humans have a natural sense of morality. This is probably not true. As I've said before, I do believe in complete blank slate. Jeez. Yeah, he's kind of an asshole, wasn't he? What's the trick? Guess there isn't. There's a kitty cat over here, though. Are you sleeping next to that cat? Oh well. Get over here. There we go. Sorry, I was trying to do that. I think that morality comes from what is taught to you. And if you were never taught morality when you were younger, you wouldn't know anything, so you would be willing to do almost anything that you so see fit. Morality is more something that is taught through actions, not words or oral ideas. I think morality is not taught through action, but almost like a conscious idea. Morality is taught through the tiny, tiny things that we observe. How we are taught to treat others when we are young. And through those tiny things, the larger thoughts grow and morality is eventually taken shape and form. Through either tiny things society has us do, tiny things we learn from our parents or our guardians, or the people around us. If someone was immoral, that's basically it. No, don't get me wrong. I do not think that morality is a sort of seed we need to foster within ourselves, and that it is just some kind of those who are immoral just haven't been taught properly. No, not at all. Because I don't believe that there is one flattened. I do not believe that there is one proper form of morality. I think that society is what decides that is good or bad. And society, through a larger collective, has decided that some of the things that some people do nowadays are bad. It's hard to argue with this idea, because in the end, no matter what you do, no matter how bad the idea you have is, you can always point towards a civilization who thought that was a good thing, because of how diverse human civilization has been throughout the years. It's hard to say what is truly good and truly bad. Is murder good? Well, probably not in a society standpoint, and especially nowadays. But at one point, that was pretty well accepted to happen. In fact, you did that a lot. The Native Americans used to play a bit of a game. See, the Native Americans, back in the day, they used to have this little sports game where some of them would die. They were really, 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 really into this sports game. And occasionally players would die because of it. They were dedicated to a fault with playing that game. And he just, as soon as I entered the he got something. Oh well. Let's get a bit of practice in here. Shall we? Oh. Come on. Nope. Very hard to do that. Back then, murder was seen as different. Bad, yes, but something you may have had to do. Nowadays, murder is usually inexcusable by society in most cases. But a lot of stories from different tribes around the I believe the northeast eastern side actually saw certain types of murder as different. I believe it's from the northeastern tribes. I don't quite remember. It's been a while since I studied this mythology, because there were so many different tribes of so many different types of, you know, Native Americans back then, that it's very hard to, like, generalize. And the thing is, some of them didn't talk to each other, and some of them were just completely, like, isolated. But this is a story that I know about pretty well, because it is very popular. So basically, it's a story about, so it's about a woman who kind of gets married, because marriage is a concept that has been in most cultures, I find. Although it doesn't seem to be too popular nowadays, because it's unnecessary in a modern culture like this. Like I said before, as the idea of adultery and cheating is becoming more accepted once again through our society. But as time kind of moves forward and goes on, she gets married, and this guy, who's basically a bandit, this is a long neck, this is a long neck. You can tell it's a long neck because his bar is purple. Stamina bar is purple. This is the first introduction to them, I believe. These are normally brothel yokai, specifically. They are normally yokai which work in a brothel. As you can see, they transform once you do about 25th of their HP. They're very dangerous creatures. They have very wide attacks like that, especially the ones with speed. They have long-reaching attacks with their neck. I don't know why these are like this, because these yokai usually just watch people inside of a brothel. I don't know. You're using your punished. Odd. Anyways, so. And basically this bandit leader kills her husband and kills a lot of the people she was with, or her big community. So she goes out, and this very, like, ripped version of the story. That's almost everything. All retainers. This video is Saito clan? Probably. He's about to kill them. But it's a very, oh, we actually got to soul core immediately. This is an alright one, but it's not too powerful. It actually has a yokai ability, poison accumulation on it, which can be okay. It's actually different. I think there's two different types for this specifically. But moving forwards, yes, her whole family died. Her husband was killed, and she did not like this, as you would think. So she stalked outside the camp of these people, their little village. And eventually, I knew what happened. Ah, new enemy as well. Once again, this is a basically an ice ogre. They're similar to normal ogres, well, with a few key differences. They're kind of basically entirely immune to ice damage, and they have a different attack. Also, some of their attacks do elemental damage. Beautiful. Anyways, I love that attack so much. She stalked around outside this camp, eventually lured out the guy who did this by killing a bunch of his men, and she got into a fist fight with him. She attacked him with a weapon. He knocked the weapon out of her hand. She got into a fist fight with him, and eventually what ended up happening was, in a moment of desperation, she bit him and ripped his throat out. She bit his throat and ripped it out. And ripped out his jugular with her teeth. And, she got revenge for killing her husband. And I don't know if anything happens after that. I believe I've heard that story in a class which specifically taught me about legends from that mythology. So, yeah. as you can see, also there's like the story of Anwei versus the Wendigos, where it was seen as, because these people are, Wendigos, even though they themselves are not. My lord started. So, let's see. So, the story of Anwei is this guy who's killing a family of people who ate human flesh and are becoming Wendigos. And some of the children they had also became Wendigos. So, yeah, and keep in mind, they're just a family of people, but for what they did, they were considered bad. I don't know about them, but if I was back then, humans can pretty successfully pull off cannibalism if you don't eat certain parts of the body. You'll get a form of brain disease if you eat certain parts of the body, that being the certain parts of the lymph nodes and the brain. But if you don't eat those parts, humans can actually cannibalize each other pretty well. It's, summoner's lock. Well, summoner's candles and only mage locks. I was gonna say summoner's locks, what the hell is that? Is there a summoning skill tree I've never known about? Ah, shit, yeah, I remember this part. This is annoying. There's enemies on all sides of you at this part, and it's very deadly. You might as well take this back path back here. It's much better. But, yeah, so Anwei killed all of them. He was even known as Anwei the Killer, because he was a man skilled in death. And the dog is barking. And oh, hold on, the dog just wants in. So, this idea of change and the morality in the world changing, especially the idea of murder, is always kind of different. There are some things which humans have always seemed to agree is bad, although there all have been exceptions, of course. Certain